Hey everybody, Brian Brooks here from the Idaho Wildlife Federation, and welcome back to our legislative recap where we talk about everything that moved through the Idaho legislature in the past week that has to do with fish, wildlife, hunting, fishing, public lands, and access. And I try to do it real fast so that you can get to enjoying your day. We're still in the infancy of the 2024 legislative session, so there's not a whole lot of bills to talk about, but I do have 3 that got print hearings in the past week. Print hearings are just when they get a bill number. It's not the official introductory hearing when the public gets to lend a comment of support or not support, or when legislators get to really robustly debate these bills. We will let you know when that introductory hearing is coming up so you could lend your voice to the process if you so choose. If not, or if so, follow along on the Idaho Wildlife Federation's bill tracker website where you can see where all of our bills that we're watching are at in the legislative process. All right, let's dive into it. First up, House Bill 404 got through its print hearing last week. This is a bill sponsored by Representative Petsky out of Meridian, and this would allow exemptions for public records requests for folks trying to get real-time data for tracking wildlife locations. As it stands now, agencies that have wildlife tracking data from geospatial collars or other measures, you could do a public records request and figure out where animals are, which obviously has fair chase implications. So you could go on and say, yeah, I want to find out where all of the bighorn ram species are at right now. You could actually get that data, which obviously is not fair chase. And frankly, it applies to anti-hunters too. They could figure out where a bunch of other animals are that they don't want killed, and they can harass those animals out of there if they so choose. So this gives agencies the ability to just say, no, that's not appropriate for you to have real-time data of where big game species are. This bill applies to all terrestrial species, so we also call our, sage grouse, for instance, and turkeys. There's a lot of data out there, but because of the fair chase implications, we don't think that information should be available to the hunting public and to anti-hunters. It's a good bill. We'll be supporting it. We'll let you know when it gets its hearing. Next up, we have Senate Bill 1231. This is a bill from North Idaho sponsored by Senator Foreman that basically says nobody will be able to buy their hunting and fishing licenses and permits until they pay any fines they have for wildlife violations. Say they got a fine for poaching or some other wildlife violation. Right now, you can go and buy your license for the next year, even if you haven't paid those fines. This would be a bill that would require some fixing on the back end. So if you go to a retailer, try to buy a license and you haven't paid a fine, it wouldn't allow you to. We think that's actually a pretty good bill. Most sportsmen don't like poaching and other wildlife fines, and certainly we shouldn't be rewarding people with another year's worth of licenses and permits if they are unwilling to pay the fines associated with wildlife crimes. Good bill. We'll let you know when it gets its introduction. Lastly, we have Senate Bill 1217. This is sponsored by Senator Herndon out of North Idaho. And basically, this bill is actually it's a good access bill. And if a county, if a county wants to abandon a public right-of-way that provides access to a body of water or public land, federal or state, this bill says that they can't abandon it unless they plan to build identical access to that same body of water, that same parcel of public land, or if they can't build or prove that there's existing access, that they will not be able to abandon those access points, which is a good bill. As we know, county commissioners face significant political pressure from developers, especially to abandon such access points to increase the value of private land if it's developed over that. So this provides some leverage to counties to basically say, no, we're not going to abandon this, or force them to essentially provide access in some other means. So that is a good bill. We will let you know when it also gets its hearing. That's it for this week. We're looking forward to next week, and hopefully you stay engaged and stay tuned in. Thanks.